Hey everyone, I'm Jen Yoko, and welcome to Let's Roll! Alright, today I'm gonna be putting you through a quick crash course boot camp on how to use Procreate. Okay, it's not a boot camp. I'm just being extra. But yeah, we're gonna go over the basics, and hopefully with this quick start guide, you'll just get to drawing. All right, let's go. All right, this looks like Dookie Boo Boo, but don't worry, we've got this. So here's the Procreate menu. If you haven't already downloaded it from the Apple Store, do it. It's $12.99. You get to keep it forever. It's wonderful. So, cool. All right, let's just start drawing now. So if you click the plus, you gotta figure out what size you want. There's so many different sizes. I use square just for fun because with square, it's small. I can have fun making sketches, as you can see here. And there's nothing to it. You can make your own custom size. So if you press this little square and a plus right there, you could add your own dimensions. For instance, if I wanted 8.5 by 11, I could go to inches and do 8.5, and then for the width, and then the height is by 11. And I wanted it 300 DPI. Unfortunately, depending on the type of iPad that you have, depending on how much memory is in it, will determine how many layers you have. That's really important. Okay? You could also do color profile. You could change the color types from RGB, or if you're printing, like you're making a book, you could do CMYK. We're not going to mess with any of these colors right now. I don't recommend that you do. And then there's time lapse. You got the time lapse at 1080p, so you can export to your social media, YouTube, Instagram, the like. And then the canvas properties. Do you want the background hidden? Do you want the background to have color? So I leave this on so I can change the colors. You click create, and then you'll have the page that you want. I'm going to click cancel because I already have 8.5 by 11. You're supposed to name your canvases, but I just know paper size. All right, we are going to just use the square. Boop. And bada bing, bada boom, we're in it. All right, it's very easy. If you pinch in, you zoom in. If you pinch out, you zoom out. If I were to go here to my right, here's my colors. I love the color wheel. There's different color wheels here. So we have a disc. We have classics. So you could drag these any way you want. We have harmony. So if you need two colors to match and meet, you could scale this one up for brightness, down for darkness, and then you'll have two in harmony with each other. If that will help you out, especially if you are like, I don't know what color to use. Maybe this will help me. Value. I find this better for people who like to use websites. You got the hex codes here and your palettes. Oh, I love this because this is the most powerful tool out there. I have so many colorful palettes here. There's some default ones. You could delete these if you want. Or what I like to do is drag and drop an image. So you could do create a new palette, create from your camera, create from a file that you've saved or a photo. But I could do that in another tutorial. For now, we're going to stick with disc because all you have to do is go through the middle here and circle around here. I'm going to pick a red for this. And then you have your layers. Layers are so important and powerful. I'm going to click on this, rename it, and do draw. Bada bing. So this way I can do la 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 la, draw right there. This is not exactly the pencil/pen I like to use. But if you take two fingers, you could press undo. Or over here, there's a undo and redo. So if I want to redo that, like I want to keep it. And then you press that for undo. But I like using my fingers to just... If you want to redo it with your fingers, oops, you take 3 fingers or 3 paws and do pop, All right. I don't want this star. I can choose to erase it. La 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 la. And then if I want to change the eraser, I would go click on my library brush. I like it at Sort Brush, so we're leaving it. Or we could go here with the regular brushes. I love my regular brushes because you have a huge variety. This program makes Photoshop look like doo-doo. They used to use Photoshop for concept art and the like, and they took a lot of tools away. And I noticed that Procreate brought a lot that we need back. I use the Procreate pencil, Technical Pencil, HB, or any of these for sketches. So I'm going to just use the Procreate pencil for now, for an example. And let's just zoom in. Let's just get to drawing. So first off, test out your pen or pencil. Again, I'm sorry for the blurriness. It's just been crazy. So, la 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 la. It's just like paper and pencil. And just play around. Play around. Do not be scared to like get in there and draw what you really feel that's in your heart, right? So I like to just play around, see what works for me until I get it right, right? And if it doesn't work for you, change it. Change it. So for instance, okay, I've done all these sketches. Oh God, I don't want to erase all of this. Instead of editing undoing, you can go to your layer. You could click on it. Oh, sorry, not click. You can go this way. You can go to the left and click clear. All of it's gone. Beautiful, isn't it? That's so quick. Make sure you know which things that you've pressed. By the way, I haven't touched this one yet because this tool is, if I hold this down, it's the smudge tool. You'll see a little menu. You see a little menu that popped up that said smudge. So let's do something quick. All right, I'm going to draw, let's see. I'm going to look around my room. I'm going to draw some cubes. And cubes are fun. But you notice they're like really boxy. I'm just genuinely playing around, having fun, whatever. What if I were to tell you I wanted something straight and like to the T, geometrical, right? You could just make a perfect square by making the square, waiting, but it's still a little weird. Stick your finger in the middle and bam, the perfect square will appear. But this requires a little practice. So as soon as I let go, it goes back. But if I put my finger back on it, it stays. So what I'm going to do is let go with my pencil first. Let go with your pencil first. And then the perfect square will appear. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to do a little square. It's a little wonky. Put your finger in the middle. Press. I said press! Oh no, it's not working. Let's edit undo again. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And remember, let go with your pencil first. And it'll be a square. There's a new feature here at the top. Little triangle. It will let you mess with it now. This is a new feature that they've added that I didn't have in the past. So let's just do this. Quadrilateral. We can make it go forward in perspective. And they have nodes now. Isn't that so cool? With these nodes, you can make furniture and buildings so much easier without having to struggle. And then we have Polyline. Okay? So the Polyline, you could take the line pieces apart and add to what you have. Oh no! Let me go back. Okay. Go back to Polyline. Let's go back to edit. And then with Ellipse, it'll just turn into a circle, I hope. Did it not want to turn to circle? Why for you no circle? All right, let's try this again. Square. Inside the square. Wait. Put your finger in the middle. Press that. Now let's do ellipse. Bam! It turned it into a circle. That's what I'm talking about. Isn't that crazy? You can make circles into squares and squares into circles, and you can make really amazing things. All right, I'm going to erase that. It's bothering me. So now let's move on. You can do the same thing with the circles, by the way. So if I were to do if I wanted a perfect circle, which I don't really care for, there's one. It did it on its own, but it made it an oval. If I wanted it a circle, 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 make a circle, wait, put your finger in the middle, bam. It's here. Now you can make it an eyeball. And like if I wanted to make it an eyeball, okay, it's sketchy in the middle. All I have to do is just drag and drop the color in. And there's two ways to drag and drop the color. So I dragged and dropped the color. You notice it's still sketchy here. If I were to go to the outside, all I have to do is just move my little threshold here to 33%. I can make it 100%. That'll color the whole canvas. But if I go back, it'll lighten it up and it'll color in as much of the line as possible. Now, the reason why all of the color went out of the circle is because this pencil here is a pencil tool and all the pixels don't connect. With that being said, just change your brush if you want like a perfect solid circle. So I'm going to use the studio pen. I'm going to make another circle, right? Cool. And then I'm just going to fill it in. Bam! But you see here, there's still a little white in the middle. Let's go back. 1. I'm going to zoom in so I won't see that little white space in the middle. Going to put that here and then move it. Bam. Perfectly colored in. You can zoom in very far. You can't even tell. You can't even tell. Isn't that awesome? All right. Now, let's draw something fun and appealing, I guess. I'll just do something quick. I'm going to draw this crazy guy. I just like using wonky shapes. Right? I'm going to make him look like he just doesn't care. I'm going to give him like a round nose. I'll give him like a cat kind of face. I'm going to give him a high top fade. You know? Give him a high top fade. I'm going to just make his body hunched over like he's on the computer all the time. Like ultimate PC gamer here. Oop. And he's like, man, I love the computer. I love playing the Warcraft. I love playing Magic. I'm not dissing these people. I am one of them. So, you know, he's just hanging out, right? So, okay, cool. I drew him. He's fun. He's funny. I'm going to color him in. But before that, this is how I color. So I drew him, right? I'm going to name this sketch. And then I'm going to take 2 fingers, tap the sketch layer. Tap it! And then, see it says opacity? I'm going to move my finger to the left. Bada bing, bada boom. It's all nice and light. And I'm going to trace over my own work. Okay? By cleaning it up. Now I'm going to select a dark. Right? I'm going to select a pen that suits this suits this exercise. And I'm going to just clean them up real nice. All right, get his hair in there. Bang. And then I turn this off. Here he is in all his weird looking funky glory. Make sure your lines are closed because like I showed you before, if your lines aren't closed, it's going to color the whole canvas. All right. So let's color him in. There's two ways to color. Okay. My way, the easiest way to color is just dragging and dropping, you know, like, oops. See, it's not closed. Oops. Oh, wait. There we go. But if you do it that way, it has to be closed. Oop. Let's go back. I genuinely do not like to color on the lines. And because I don't like to do that, I have a less of a problem if I make a mistake. Okay, let's just do this. Oops. Let's try again. There we go. Perfectly colored in. Right? All right. I'm going to duplicate this. And color him in this way. And the Procreate will figure it out, you know. Oh no! Procreate will figure out what you want when you need it. I noticed it's become more intelligent. Or, I guess you could say intelligent, but like, it's become more efficient. The only advantage for me is if I color my lines, color on my line work, I can, you know, manipulate the image when it's done a little easier. Sometimes. It's the only reason why I would do it. But the disadvantage is I don't like to do the highlights and shadows when it's like this. It's a little harder, but that's a lesson for another time. All right, let me get this guy in here. He's like, computer geek, computer geek. Oh my god, I think I just subconsciously made a modern day Fat Albert, and I didn't mean to do that. But here we are. All right, let me put the white in his eyes. White here, and then the black. 1, 2, and then let's just mess with his keyboard. Yeah, here he is. Here's the guy. He's just a guy. If you don't like drawing with a white background, you could always... Sorry, I'm going too fast. Click the background. When you click it, the color wheel will appear, and you could just change the color. And I like doing this because you could tell what and where you have colored. Here's another problem with coloring on your line tool. All right, let's just say I want to color in this whole keyboard with this gray. It's going to take me forever, right? Or if I were to color this way, it's going to color over my lines. Here's how I genuinely like to color. So, I usually have 2 layers. This one is, I always do lines. And then I do color. And then when I have my lines up here, I click my lines tool and I do reference, right? This way, these lines are telling this layer only color in the lines without messing with them. So now this guy, I'm gonna color him like a purple now. Maybe I like this guy to be purple. And I don't have to keep adjusting as much. Let's see. Will it let me? Oh, I lied. I lied about the adjusting and such. But okay. I have this little open gap here. Here's another strategy. Take the color, outline what you have, and then drag and drop in it. It's not working. Why for you no work? It should just work. Come on. Work for me, nerd guy. You worked before. Well, it's not working, but you get the premise. And then you could just obviously color it in, hand color. Let's do that quickly. Get his nose in there. Same elements apply as before. Make him purple. I feel like I've taken a 1990s approach to this guy here. Makes me think of Skeeter from... Is it Skeeter? From Doug? I don't know. I don't remember! Stop yelling at me! Alright, here we go. Hair. No, that's not what I wanted! Okay, so the hair, remember, make sure to just cover your gaps. And this is just really quick. Okay, almost done! Get that. Quick. Get that. I'm gonna make it yellow. Yellow. And we'll make this a dark blue here. And then I'm gonna make the keyboard this color. And that's because I didn't fill it in. See? Bang. Still colored it in. It was quick. It was amazing. Now I have two. So if I turn this guy back on, I can move him and then resize him. And now you have them side by side. All right. You could also, if you guys wanted to do something a little more articulate, play with the brushes. Pick something like a Blackburn. Make a square. Fill it in. Oh. Sometimes it happens. I said fill it in! Alright, it's because of the brush. I'm just going to fill it in this way. And then, let's just say I wanted to lower the opacity on the brush and make something like ocean-like with the same brush. Look how it changes colors. And I could just keep messing with the different brushes, staying in the same color wheel, you know, seeing where it leads, and just having a wonderful time playing with every single feature that this program offers. So that way you won't get stuck or overthink things. Like, oh, I do that too much. I don't know why I said that, but here we are. All right. This was your crash course in Procreate. I hope this was fun for you. I will have a part 2. If you guys want, I could break down different parts of Procreate and focus on just doing a full-on colored character like this. And show you guys how I walk through art step by step. Alright guys, I hope this was fun. Like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful week. Bye!